Okay, so it is. I gotta stop with the okay, so and yeah, so and stuff. But it is March 28th, Thursday, 8:24 in the morning. Today I had planned out. I gotta go off on a little ramble. Because like one of the things my therapist said is like if you got stuff weighing on your mind, it's best to get it out of your system in some way, so that way you have room to comprehend and grasp, the things you need to better. And today I had planned to go to my doctor and talk to him about a lot of things. First of all, I feel like he's going to be impressed with the progress I've made, but there's still more progress to go. Um, Trying to get all my ducks in a row. I got my ducks in a row. I'm trying to line the rest up, and um, so I was going to try to get a nutritionalist because every time I've seen one in the hospital, they've freaked out about how underweight I am and malnourished I am. So I'm going to try to get hooked up with that, and just a bunch of things. I have a whole list of things I was going to talk to him about, and then go on to counseling and stuff. And I have a wonderful doctor, and he really listens and puts effort. He genuinely cares about his clients, and there's some other things I might talk about later. um, but I leave for that appointment at 10:30, and then I go straight to counseling after that. And my dad isn't doing so well, and I know what's going on, but I don't want to say too much. But I'm really worried, and my stepdad said he loved me for the first time in at least a year, and now we're kind of working together, for my kid and my dad. They said he's stable at least, and I'm praying and hoping, and I just needed to vent that. Like when I first got the news, I was tearing up, and there was, I couldn't get the tears to flow, but it was like I was crying in my chest and throat and my heart. It felt like a boulder on my heart and a lump in my throat. And since being on testosterone, it kind of makes it hard to really produce tears. But yeah, it kind of threw me off this morning, and I got a lot to do, and my schedule's already packed, but I really feel like I need a nutritionalist involved, and I need to get to work also back to trying to figure out the autoimmune thing. And I saw this thing. I'm a big fan of Ren, by the way. I've tried to post, shout out to Ren. I've tried to post links in the description before and other shout outs of people who will probably never watch my videos, and it didn't work, but I'll like put in like text, and when I edit this video, put like in text his YouTube and stuff. And his music has really gotten me through a lot. And I saw this video he posted like a couple years ago about chronic illness, and what's wrong with the medical system, like why it's so hard, why is it so hard, you have to go through so many years of torture to finally get a good doctor to figure stuff out. Like even in America, the healthcare system is messed up. And I had been chronically ill for years and misdiagnosed, and until 2021 I finally got a good doctor who I've been sticking with. and he's really puts effort into things, and um, we know I have autoimmune disorder. We've just been trying to figure out um, which one, and canceling stuff out because I have all the symptoms of one, and then on top of it I have a chronic bladder that had been going on since 2017, and up until 2021 when I would try to tell doctors about, like, I kept getting UTIs and sick all the time, and they started blaming it on like my PTSD and anxiety, and wouldn't really put effort into trying to figure things out. And by the time everything was chronic, I finally found a good doctor who I've been sticking with, who I'm going to today, who's really helped me out. And being homeless, and especially after getting my skull cracked, really deteriorated my health, like made everything worse. When I was in my house, even though it was a slumlord house and it was falling apart and stuff, I still was able to maintain my chronic ailments better. And you don't understand unless you've been in the position of having to live on the streets and in the woods, being sick. And I've been through a lot, and I've overcome a lot, and it took so long to find a doctor to take me seriously, and he's hooked me up with other good doctors, and but it took so long, and so many misdiagnoses, and so pretty much took until my 30s to find someone to listen, and by that point it was bad. It was easier to maintain with the roof over my head, but being homeless, it just deteriorated, and I've been trying to climb my way back up that ladder after the skull fracture. Like, if you talk to someone else, I've heard other people say similar things. You become a different person, and it was as if I went through the grieving process, the stages of grief of losing my old self, and at this point I'm embracing, I finally accept my new self. And Ren's music really helped me through that grieving process too, and I use my coping skills daily, and I got all my ducks in a row right now, and I still got a lot more to line up. And I have made progress, and I'm doing better, and I'm still working on it. And I can't wait to get to the point where I can lift Jupiter up and twirl her around and go back to dancing and singing like we used to. And it's been rough the last year, and I didn't expect it to go this far. When we've gotten the first shelter, I thought it would be easier to get a place, but if you didn't have a place before COVID, and you lost your place after COVID, you're fucked, because the rent is ridiculous, $900 for a moldy apartment, and they want you to make 3 times that amount of rent, plus have perfect credit. And it's absolutely ridiculous, and there's such little funding. It's hard to find low income anymore, and the HUD list is packed full. And actually, come to find out, there's $7 billion that the government here in my state wants to put towards the homeless and for resources and building shelters, right? And people are actually arguing it, and they had to postpone and stretch out the voting date because these rich motherfuckers want to complain about, oh, you should have talked to the businesses in the area first. Talking about the homeless like we are not even dehumanizing them. Like they're like, well, we should build the shelter like way out in this field, away from town, like we're some kind of dogs need, you know, build a shelter where there's no easy access with public transportation out in the field somewhere. And it's absolutely, like, it's great that they're finally wanting to put funding to help the homeless, because the issue is really bad and the homeless people aren't the issue. The lack of funding is the issue. And I cannot believe these rich motherfuckers with businesses want to complain. Like, we don't want the homeless people in this area. Blah, blah, blah. And before the funding, they were complaining about, ew, gross homeless people, around here. And it's been feeling like a genocide of the homeless in this area. And then there's finally funding. And then they want to complain about, oh, you should have talked to the business. Why didn't you talk to the businesses first? And it just totally, like, heartless, unempathetic, dehumanizing. And it's all these rich motherfuckers complaining. And it's like, what the fuck? There's finally a chance to solve the issue with the funding and get people off the streets and families off the streets. And there's such a stigma that is ridiculous, and it's just these greedy motherfuckers. And it makes me feel good that they're finally, it's about time. But also I'm pissed off that these business owners and shit want to complain about it and want to vote against it, or be like, put them out in a field somewhere, like we're just trash, like we're not human beings. And yeah, it's frustrating. And like, Ren sings a lot about greed, and I totally agree with that. Greed is I feel like it's the worst of the seven sins. It is disgusting. And they'd rather the money go elsewhere. Like, they'd rather build banks than shelters. And I've been saying that for a while. And I've seen one of my homeless homies last year get dragged out of the woods in a body bag because he had succumbed to the elements. And who knows how many other bodies they're pulling out of the woods right now from the winter. Like I said, I almost died of hypothermia. And when I say there's hundreds of homeless people out there, I literally mean that. I've seen them. I have, one of the, like, rules of being homeless is keep moving. You gotta move. Because another law is if a cop finds your tent, they tear it up and take it down, which is disgusting. And, like, that's a law. Just another disgusting law. That's why I said it feels like they're trying to erase us instead of treating us like human beings. And I had to go on a rant about that. And but anyway, I gotta get this out of my system. And I'm hoping my doctor today, I have a lot to talk about. I'm hoping he can help me line more ducks up in a row. And by that I mean, I'm getting my shit together, and I want to get my shit together more. And I want to get healthy already. And I want to, I'm working real hard trying to get a place. I hope they pass this funding bill. It'll open up more opportunities for low-income housing. And it's easier to... It stopped recording for some reason. It's easier to stabilize and keep my health together when I have a roof over my head. For anybody, like, common sense. And good news is I got another 2 weeks of vouchers already promised after March 9th, because I've been really working on it. She said, the program director said, I've been the most productive person they've had when it comes to really trying to get it together and find housing. And I am on a mission. and I just need to go on a rant and vent about stuff. And I hope my dad's okay. I really hope he's okay. And my daughter's birthday is coming up too. And I feel like every birthday she's had, something tragic has happened. Like my mom died before one of her birthdays. I left an abusive relationship with the other half. Um, Near one of her birthdays, we lost the house close to one of her birthdays. And I hope my dad gets through this, and I'm glad he's stabilized, and I hope he's getting appropriate care. And I really advocate for him, because he had went to the ER before this and they didn't even look into it. It's like they were trying to rush him out of there. Well, look what happens. I hope he got good doctors instead of shitty ones. And it sounded like he got better doctors. And so yeah, I gotta finish getting ready to go. And there's my ramble. And just, I got a lot to do today, a lot to tackle, a lot to talk to my doctor about, and check in on my dad and my kid. And I'm glad my stepdad is finally, talking to me. Yesterday was the first time he's talked to me in months even. And I'm glad, because this is about my kid, ultimately, but now it's about my kid and my dad, and we both care about my kid and my dad, so we found a common ground, and we're starting to get along, I guess, or be civil with each other at least. And yeah, I'm hoping today goes well, and I'm giving it my all like I do every day. And I love you, Jupiter. I love you, Dad. And I love you, Stepdad.